Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio.
So good evening, everyone. How are you? All right, first of all, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out on a Monday night in High Point, North Carolina. I want to thank you all because we've been working on this event for a little while, and I think that this has already made me happy thus far. My name is Chisa Pennix-Brown, and I am the Technical Assistance, Programs, and Events Manager for the Piedmont Business Capital. And I get the lovely pleasure of putting together events for you to help educate you about what's happening in our community regarding business, to make sure that this way you have events that help foster community, but also educational opportunities that help you to start and grow your business. And so that's my job here, but I want to turn it over to our executive director, welcome all of you out, and then we'll be talking also with our co-sponsor for this event, which is Business High Point Chamber of Commerce. So let me turn it over to our executive director, Mr. Wilson Lester.
Good evening. How's everybody feeling?
Good.
Y'all can't possibly feel better than I do. You know, we have been at this as executive director here at Piedmont Business Capital for about 3 years, and this is our first time doing an event or programming in High Point. And I'm just so ecstatic to have Amber as a partner and her team, and to be here and see all of you all tonight. If you're not familiar with who we are, I see some familiar faces, but we are a loan fund, small business loan fund. We've lent just over $1 million in the Guilford County area in the last 5 years or so, created about 404 jobs with people owning businesses just like some of you in the audience. We also are partners in an outstanding venture in Winston-Salem called the Access Center for Equity and Success, and it is focused on providing an opportunity for minority and women contractors, service providers, and suppliers to get and gain opportunities to do contractual work with public and private industry. And we enjoy the opportunity to be able to capitalize those contracts so those businesses can perform on them. In fact, we've done $100,000 in loans in the last 60 days through that facility. So we're really excited about that. So I welcome you all tonight to learn, network. All of these folks I consider my colleagues, and I say you're with a great group. There's a lot of great information around from the vendors that you should check out and collect, because everybody here is here for the success of small business in our community, and in particularly small business owned by women, minorities, and people of color. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Chisa. Amber. Come on, Amber. Give it up for Amber.
Well, good evening, everyone. As Chisa and Lester said, I'm Amber Williamson. I work for Business High Point Chamber of Commerce. And do y'all know that High Point has a Chamber of Commerce? All right. Well, I just want to let you know that High Point's Chamber is here for you. So through this event, through our partnership with Piedmont Business Capital, just know that we are here for you. If you haven't visited the Chamber, we invite you to come by. We invite you to check out some of our programming that we have here on a consistent basis, our networking opportunities. I see some fellow chamber members in the room. We are happy that you're here, and some future, hopefully, chamber members in the room as well. So, again, we're in the back corner. Lauren, my team member, right there, that pretty lady, is here to answer any of your questions as well as me. And, again, we are very excited about this event. So, thank you.
All right, and I would also like to welcome another wonderful person who is here from Piedmont Business Capital. Carl, can you get up and say a few words? Come on, Carl.
A lot of you I know. So I'm Carl Robinson. I'm the chair of the Piedmont Business Capital Fund, and our goal is to ensure that you have access for capital, and that you can grow your business. We really appreciate you coming out, and I'm sure that you'll learn something this evening, and thank you.
Okay, so one thing that we believe in is marketing and social media. So if you are posting this evening, if you please can use the hashtags Piedmont BizCap and then also BHP Chamber with anything that you're posting. We would greatly appreciate that this evening for anybody who does utilize social media, because we want to be able to capture your perspective. And so when you utilize the hashtag, it helps us to see the pictures that you've captured. And so that would be great. I see we do have some people in the back. If we can get you to come up to the front, there are seats up in the front. Fill on in. That'd be great. All right. And one thing to recognize is that we are in a Black-owned business this evening. And that was important to us as far as being able to make sure that we stay focused with our mission. So Creative Niche, all right, can you raise your hand? And then I'll let you talk about it a little bit more. But is allowing us to be in this space this evening. And so just FYI, the space is for rent. And when we finish this and conclude this evening, there's other space on the other side that you can also rent out. So we wanted to just let you know that as well. And then you can go ahead and go do like a small little tour on the other side. Can you please put your hands together for our food and beverage, though? So Wilson's Comfort Catering, they are located in Greensboro. And does anybody know where Gillespie Grill is or the Gillespie Golf Course? Okay, they are the ones that run the kitchen there. So that means Monday through Friday, you can go over there and get yourself something to eat. So if you were looking for a spot because you didn't want to go to Popeyes and get a chicken sandwich, they have $2 fish on Tuesday. So tomorrow you should go patronize their business. We do have a hashtag that we're using also for our businesses that are in East Greensboro called We Invest East. And so if you do go to their establishment, please make sure that you utilize that hashtag as well, because our goal is to make sure that we focus on options, opportunity zones, places where maybe there are underserved businesses that do need our dollars, because that does make a difference as well. All right? And so I'm going to let each of our panelists introduce themselves this evening. You all have mics, so feel free to just go ahead and start. So Chanel, go with you first.
I said in the wrong place. My name is Chanel Davis. I am a freelance journalist and PR specialist, and also the president of, of Triad Association of Black Journalists.
Hi, welcome. My name is Charity Jackson. I am the owner and operator of Creative Niche, and also the owner and operator of the Ritz Theater, the historic Ritz Theater. And thank you all for coming, and I think that's it that you want to talk about. And thank you all for coming, and I'm glad you're here in our space. This is our space, not my space. This is our space, because this is a part of history and your community. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Olvera, and I'm a small business owner. I spent most of my career actually in corporate America, but I got the bug to start my own business back about almost 10 years ago. So I bought into a franchise by the name of ServPro. You might have seen their commercials on TV. We're a fire, water, mold, cleanup, and restoration company. Been doing that, like I said, for the last 10 years. I'm very glad to be here, and thank you for asking me to be here.
I'm Frank Thomas. I'm the pastor of Mount Zion Baptist Church right down the street. I've been the pastor there for just over 10 years, and you'll hear in a little bit why I'm on the panel once I figure it out.
Okay, so one other thing to let you know about tonight is that this is being recorded live. So the first Black-owned, woman-owned podcast studio exists in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I just happen to be the owner of that podcast studio. So our technicians are here this evening, and so they're recording everything that we do so that this way we can utilize it for our podcast later on. And we're also recording it on video cameras, so this way you'll be able to relive this wonderful moment. And anybody that wasn't able to come this evening will also be able to get access to the footage and just hear what happened tonight, because I think that when you come to events like these, somebody's going to say something that resonates with you. And you know how you hear that thing, and then maybe you miss something else? So this way it'll give you the opportunity to be able to listen to this over again. And I'm going to start with Frank, because I think by now he might have figured it out. But the first question, because I know you're not from here, you are a transplant, why High Point? What made you start and come here to High Point, North Carolina?
Oh, my. I didn't have a lot to do with it. The Army sent me to Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem to teach ROTC back in 2004, and when my wife and I were trying to look for a house, High Point was the only place where we could find a house suitable for our family that was turnkey ready. So we moved to High Point, and we're working in Winston-Salem. And I've always been the type of person to get involved in whatever community in which I live. So I got involved in High Point. Then when I retired from the Army, I moved to Winston, but then got called to pastor here. So now I've just been a part of the community for the past 10 years as pastor at Mount Zion. And I've always shared that pastoring is more than just the people who come to worship with me on Sunday morning. But pastoring is reaching out to any and everyone in the community, because every decision that's made here in the city affects people in my congregation. So why not get involved in some of the decision making that's going on in the city? So that's why High Point, the Lord sent me here.
Well, I don't know if anybody has a better answer than that one. However, Carlos, so you left corporate America, and what made you come to High Point and open your business here?
Well, actually, I came here with corporate America. I was actually living in Houston working for a manufacturing company, and I decided to leave that company, so I was recruited to come to Ralph Lauren here in the area. And so that's why I took a position here, and that's how I came to High Point. Now, my decision to stay in High Point when I decided to start my own business was actually a pretty easy one. All my contacts I worked for Ralph Lauren for about 9 years. I had a lot of business contacts here. I liked the atmosphere. I liked the energy that everyone exhibited. I liked the fact that people cared about their community. So when I decided to get into the franchise business, I was offered several opportunities for just about anywhere in the country. I could have gone to California. I could have gone back to Chicago, where my family's from, to be near family. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but that would have been nice to go back to family. But at the end, I insisted on staying in High Point. Fortunately, the license for ServPro for High Point was open, and so that's why I chose to be here. Like I said, I could have chosen anywhere in the country to be, and this is where I chose to be.
And in Charity?
Well, why High Point? I have to also say that I was sent here on assignment. My family actually lives here, and my family is Mr. Hoover and Mrs. Hoover. So I actually came to be a funeral director. And I only needed 2 classes to become a funeral director, and I had my business degree out of California. I was residing in Long Beach, California. And it was a perfect transition. I called, and my uncle had passed away, and we came here and checked things out. And I had recently gotten married, and I was like, oh, well, new life, new husband, new everything. Get a great new start, and come to really get reconnected in the community. I applied for a job at City of High Point for the city project, and Wendy Fusco ended up getting the job. So I had been here, and a lot of people didn't know that I had been in the city trying to integrate into the community. But when I transitioned strategically as an information technology consultant. So I came to work with Wachovia while I would be going to get my funeral director's license. And so as an IT consultant for major banks, that's where my bread and butter come from, and that's how I've been able to really get active in the community without reaching out for the resources, the financial resources that most people would look for, because I had my IT job, I had the community service thing going on with the family and all of that. So Hoover's Funeral Home, I decided to stay. Ended up with a divorce and a new business. And opened up my coffee shop. Always wanted to open up a coffee shop, and always doing events. Decided to do business development, and here you are, sitting right inside of my dream. And so this is the reason why I decided to stay. And every time I try to go back to California, I end up back here in High Point. And so I decided that I would stay for a while to be here. Love the community, love the embracement. One of my community pastors right here who have embraced me in the community. So that's why High Point. I love it. I have new friends, new family, and new people.
All right. Okay. And Chanel?
High Point is home for me. So that's one. Native High Point girl. Family's native here. And just so happened that the industry